Guest all the way from Texas. I'm Wheelchair Rick, T3T4 paraplegic, and this is the Wheelhouse. Well, this is Wheelchair Wednesday at the Wheelhouse. Welcome. All right, y'all, let's welcome Kevin Hajda to the show.
What's going on, man?
What is happening, sir?
Hey, man, just life. Glad to be sitting on top of it than laying underneath it.
I hear you there, man. Give me 1 second. As you know, per usual, we always have trouble getting stuff working on this show. But we are. There we go. I got it going. My camera again is messing up. Can't do the show without a camera, folks. Everybody's got to see what you're doing, what's going on. Kevin, welcome to the show. We've been talking a little bit off camera. How you been, man?
Been doing good, man. Loving life. This summer's actually been really good for me. I'm kind of making a turn for the better in life, and things are starting to move in the right direction. So things are going pretty good lately.
Nice. A lot of stuff to ask you, but the first most important question, well, not most important, I just think it's the one that we get asked all the time anyway, is how to happen. So this is a chance. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know how your injury happened, and then we'll go from there.
All right. So when I was, 31, so that was back in 2022 in April, Palm Sunday, got out of church, went to lunch. And after lunch, I said, okay, I'm going to go mow up at the office. And me and my best friend, Chris, we were loading up the big zero-turn mowers. He loaded his up on the trailer. I loaded mine up behind him. When mine got up to the decking of the trailer, so you've got the actual trailer itself, and you got the ramp. So I got about up to that hinge point. I don't really know if the deck caught or what happened, but it actually popped up and popped a wheelie. And when you're already on a ramp, you're on an incline, so it doesn't help. That tipping point is even further back. It just rolled over and it crushed me underneath it, and it shattered my T12. Took me to the hospital, fused me from T10 down to L1, and spent like 7.5 weeks in inpatient, and I was an outpatient. And I've been living in solo ever since. But
dang.
Most people have like these crazy wild stories. I was literally just going to mow the lawn. So that's it.
You're like, I was on the mower and flipped over backwards. And who knows? Here I am.
But my parents tell me all the time, they drive through town and they see people on their zero turns and they don't have the roll bar flipped up. And they'll stop and they'll give them this lecture. I'm
like, hey, my son.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
My son was on one of those things and he's in a wheelchair now. You better be careful.
Yeah.
Yep, I can imagine.
Exactly. So I'm the poster child. I cause safety meetings, so.
Right. Hey, nothing wrong with that. At least you're the reason that a couple more people ain't, leaving the hospital in a chair or worse because they didn't, follow the rules. What up, TJ?
Well, that's the thing about it too. TJ, what's up? And that's the thing about it though is we thought about it. My parents and I, my friend, Chris was right there and he saw it happen. He pushed the lawnmower off of me. We just keep going over and over and over in our heads. Like if I would have jumped off or if I would have moved or like bent over or tucked in, like how it would have gone wrong. And there's not really a good scenario where it would have gotten any better, and in all reality, I'm not that busted up. From my perspective, I'm not really that bad. I can stand up and walk. I'm on forearm crutches now. I've kind of graduated up to that. Not full time, but we're getting there. So it's in progress, but I do have a lot of function. And if I would have moved or hit and it would have crunched me in a different way, or if the roll bar had been up, how much different would it have rotated and how worse of the injury could it have gotten? We don't know. And it's kind of one of those things you never saw it happen. What are the chances of it happening the first time, much less if it happened again, how bad?
Right. Yeah, that is kind of a freak accident, sort of. I've never heard of anybody else, like succumbing to a spinal cord injury while on lawnmower.
That's kind of dumb, man, because I love mowing grass. It's like
It
my
is pretty
therapy.
fun. It is pretty fun. I remember being on the rider at my grandpa's old property and just kind of like putting the music on and just chilling.
Just
Yep.
relax and just turn your mind off for a little while, sit in your nothing box, and just mow
Yep.
lawn. That's all you got to do.
Um.
But
Now let me ask you this: how long you say that was ago?
that was 2022, so it's been about two and a
Oh,
half
so you're
years.
kind of a newcomer. So this
Yeah.
is actually probably pretty simple for you to answer. This question is: would you walk if you could? And by that, what I mean is, if you could go back and switch that day without getting injured and just live your life that way, would you do that, or would you stay where you're at with the knowledge that you have now?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I feel like I've lived life. I've lived probably 10 years in the past 2.5 years since my accident. Just everything that's happened and how much I've, how much of life that I've actually experienced and learned and grown. And I've conquered a lot of demons. I've gotten through a lot of things that are not even my injury related or related to my injury. Sorry. But so much good has come out of this inconvenience is what I kind of consider it now because it sucks. I'm in a chair. Yeah, I gotta have these mobility aids and whatnot, and it's a bummer sometimes, but it really hasn't stopped me from getting anywhere or doing anything that I really want to do. If I'm that determined, I'll get there. But I don't think I would trade this experience that I've had thus far for anything, even just to
So
be
you
normal
wouldn't go
again.
back. You
Because
wouldn't go back and say, you know what, I'll just go back and do it over again, even though you're kind of new into it. That's interesting.
no,
I didn't see it going that way. But
no,
sometimes
there's
that's the
so
breaks, you know.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much I've gained versus what I've lost. I did lose some mobility, but the amount of people that I've gained in, my camp through SCI Life on Facebook, through our group and just the community, the medical staff, the people that I meet randomly that stop and talk to me or ask if I need help or something. You strike up conversations with strangers and they're great people you never would have met otherwise. And so there's just so much you gain and so many people focus on the loss.
Right.
And I think it should be the other way around. And I think a lot of people that go through something like this may be a little bit easier on them.
Right. For sure. I agree. Um, Oops, my camera's off again because, of course, why would it not be? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We'll just move on with the next question. I'm sure you can still hear me. Yeah, and I got it working again. Okay, so the next one is dating slash married. How is your life, like in that aspect of it, dating women in the chair, any different from out of the chair?
So dating is a little bit different. Not as extreme as you think, though. It is a conversation piece for sure. It's brought up a lot. Um, that's kind of how the conversation starts most times. But I like 100% transparency. I'm in a chair, but I'm pretty high functioning, so it's not really going to be that much of a bummer if I take you out to dinner. And most people are cool with that. I had a relationship for a few months, not long after I got back from my injury, and moved in and started living independently about 3 months or something like that. Haven't had a relationship since, but dating's not that bad. I've just been really focusing a lot on myself lately and just kind of doing my own thing. And like I said, I've been going through a lot of personal growth. So we'll get there, and when that person or time comes, then rock on. That's great. But right now, I mean, I'm good. But I wouldn't really say it's a hindrance per se.
Right. Just yep. Just another part of life, I guess.
It
Um,
is what it is, brother.
yeah, I think there is really somebody out there for everybody. It just depends on your confidence level. And I always say, man, closed mouths don't get fed. So it's like, you know what I
The
mean?
person that was right for me back before my accident, even 2 years ago, or let's say 10 years ago, if I would have got it right in that relationship, how much different would my life be? Would I really look at that? Maybe I'm on the right path. I think the good Lord has a path for me, and I may not understand it, but I'm I'm doing my best to just hold on. Let it be guiding.
Hey, man, I hear you there. I feel that. Yeah, absolutely. Hallelujah. If I had a hallelujah button, I'd hit it. Hallelujah. You know what I mean? That'd be hilarious.
Gotta work on that.
Yeah, man. You just gave me the idea. Pet peeves. What's your biggest pet peeve about being paralyzed or in a chair?
Misconceptions or stereotypes. That drives me up the wall because it causes more interaction than I would like most times because a lot of people see me as high functioning and I get in and out of my truck. I'm walking to and from, driver's side to the tailgate and loading up my chair. I swing it up with my legs. And so people are like confused, like, okay, do the legs work or don't they work? And with spinal cord injuries, there's no guarantees anything's going to be the same from one to another. And it just drives me crazy. People say, well, I thought your legs weren't supposed to work. And then you get people that are doubting whether you really need the chair or not. I've actually had somebody doubt whether I needed to be in that chair or not, or whether I needed to be in that. I was in one of those shopping carts in
Mm-hmm.
Walmart. She said, "You should get one. You should get that up for somebody that really needs it." And I lifted my pant leg and showed her my AFO braces that held my legs.
Right. Yeah,
I need it too. I'm sorry.
we got a special word for those people. Oh shoot, why am I way too loud? Hold on 1 second. I don't know. My stuff is acting really weird lately. It's
We'll
just
work
bouncing
on
up
it,
and down.
and you gotta let me just fly up there. Just
Yo
fix the
yo
whole system.
yo. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
We'll do it all. We'll
Now
do it
it's
all ITNS sponsored.
right. I really need
Really,
one. But no, I was gonna say we call those people assholes. Um, but
absolutely.
now there you go. What is something that you wish you could do now that you can no longer do?
That's a hard one because I'm still in the process of learning how to do things the adaptive way. So I have a grit freedom chair that my parents bought me. I don't know if you've ever seen those with the levers that you push. They've got the sprockets on either side like mountain bikes. And but it's a wheelchair and it's got like a long tubular front, like one of those freewheel attachments. And it's got a big knobby tire so you can bounce over curbs and stuff no problem. I can take that on trails now. So now I'm learning to hike again. That's one of the biggest things that I wanted to get back to doing because I was an avid hiker, being outdoors and just being in nature. That was my happy place, and then that was taken from me. I kind of didn't have access anymore. So having that grit chair has opened up that again. So finding a hard boundary is like what can't I do in this chair? I got to figure out a way to do it. There's not
Right.
really much I can't do. I think the biggest thing is just the everyday mobility because of what I used to do for work was very hands on and I was crawling up ladders and up on man lifts and crawling down through holes and in attics and running lines and stuff and I loved working with my hands and working with tools and stuff and now I'm stuck behind the desk. So that's a bummer. But
Right.
uh, we're working on finding something that kind of marries between the two to kind of give me that side of things again. But I'm just rolling with the punches, man. Anything that I come up against, like I can't do, I either really don't want to do, or I'll just find a way around it, make it adaptive.
For sure. Now you might notice that my camera is again once messed up, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to press on.
I
Um,
got you.
what about your pain level being incomplete? What's that like?
Rough, very rough. It fluctuates, so it's very unpredictable from one day to the next. My pain scale, I always tell people my pain scale starts at most people's like 6 or 7
Mm-hmm.
because I'll wake up and I couldn't find a good way to really relate it to people as far as what that pain feels like, the nerve pain, until the other day. It was really hot and I was walking. to unload my wheelchair, and I stopped for a second. I realized how hot it was off the asphalt. I said, it feels like I'm standing on this hot asphalt parking lot with no shoes or socks.
Dang.
That's what it feels like. And that's what the normal feels like, that baseline. But you get tempered to the pain after a while. It's brutal at first. And I mean, I was all kinds of drugged up. They had me on Dilaudid, morphine, all the drugs,
Right.
and all the happy stuff. And then as they weaned me off as I left the hospital, I never really took any, pain meds. Your body just kind of finds that level where you're just kind of riding easy. And when it does get bad, we do hit tens. And that's what a lot of people don't believe when we go to the doctor's office or we tell our loved ones or something. They're like, what's wrong? It's like, I'm at a 10. Like, I
That's
can't
hard.
really
Yeah.
get it through anymore.
They don't understand it when you're just sitting there and you're not surrounded by fire and like there's not 1,000
Yeah.
ant beasts ripping apart your skin, but it feels like it. Yeah.
But it feels like it inside. And it's hard to relate that to people because it's not really something that you feel that often outside of the spinal cord injury, or nerve damage and stuff. But people that have nerve damage, most times it's small patches or something. It's not entire half of your body or
Right.
extremities or anything. So it's hard to relate, but pain for me is manageable. If it really gets bad, I'll take an Advil. I was taking gabapentin for a while, but it's making me sweat a lot, and it's kind of messing with my brain a little bit. Kind of made me a little spacey, so I just kind of stopped taking that. That's my I gotta take something, but it just
Right.
spaces me out. I don't like the way it makes my brain feel, so I just kind of raw dog life.
gotta raw dog it.
Go for it, but
Right,
just
for
gotta live
sure.
life.
We're dealing with all kinds of technical difficulties that you can imagine. I don't know what is going on with my stuff, but we're just gonna press on. We got a few more questions, so we're just gonna get through these ones. What about what helped you the most after your injury? What was your biggest help, you think?
Probably positivity. Finding positivity in those early stages. I had a truly amazing support system throughout my entire recovery. And I mean, I'm still in recovery too. I mean, when you're incomplete, you're never truly healed. So we don't know how far it's going to get, but you have to maintain that thought of we're going to get there eventually. It's going to take some time, and some people get a little bit impatient with it, but that's a whole other story. Um, Sorry, I got sidetracked. What was the question?
No, you're good. Just what was like the biggest thing that helped you? Like, you know what I
That
mean?
helps me. Sorry. Positivity, like getting there early on, and maintaining through the early stages in rehab. 2.5 weeks after my spinal fusion, I was up on a walker and I was going and I was pushing, and that I had that little success, and I just thrived on those little successes and kept going and going and going, and all the way through all of my rehab until I got home. And then it helped me day to day. It's like, that was a good transfer, Kevin. Good
Right.
job. Give yourself a pat on the back, and you did good. Giving yourself those wins throughout the day has, I mean, just boosted my levels 100%, because now I'm like, okay, I'm not a super failure. I got to work on some stuff, but I didn't 100% fail across the board, because when you focus on that, then that absorbs your day, and then that defines your day, and you go to bed feeling like a failure.
Right. Yeah, you got to find the silver linings in life. That's for sure.
Because it's a nasty spiral too. Once you start down that dark path, and you're just like, man, I'm never gonna get better. I'm never gonna walk again. I'm never gonna be able to do this. I'm never gonna have that experience again. I will never have that experience. Period.
Right.
Just go do it. Figure out a way to do it. There's a way to do everything.
Well, there's a will, there's a way.
It may suck. No, don't get me wrong. Excuse me. It may suck, and it may be tougher, and it may take a lot more effort and time. You can do it. You just don't have to bog yourself down with I'm a burden, I'm slowing people down. Just
Um,
you have every right to live your life just as much as everybody else. So
right.
maintain that positivity and go do it.
What about your hobbies? What did you do beforehand, and what do you do now?
My hobby is collecting hobbies, man. And if you can think of it, I've probably done it or tried it or attempted it. But mainly right now is gardening. I actually did a live in the group recently of working on my garden, planning out my springtime expansion.
Oh, damn. See, I wish I would have watched that one. I think I missed that one.
I'll do another one, trust me, because once we start doing some major expansion, I've
Yeah, because
already
I'm into
doubled it.
gardening, man. I just got into that this year.
Me too. Like this first time I've actually started planting and I've actually given it a fair shot. And I come from a long line of farmers too, so if I can't figure out a green thumb, I think I'm bringing dishonor to my
Right.
family. So
You dishonor family, no
gardening
green
is a
thumb. Sorry, that was a
no
bad.
green thumb. Yeah, that's how Kevin got canceled.
Yep, there we go. It's
It
done.
was fun.
Last wheelchair
Yeah,
Wednesday ever, just because of Kevin. Thanks,
right.
guy. No,
So, no, man, I've watched others. I'm
we
mild.
got some. Yeah, we got some pretty crazy characters. That's
If
been
Rick
in
and
here.
Rowdy is still around, then
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
sure the
we got a
wheelchair
brand new
Wednesdays.
episode tonight. Brand new episode, baby. We're gonna be firing on all
Stay
cylinders
tuned,
tonight.
boys and girls.
It's gonna be fun. Um,
Yeah. I do play guitar. Love music. Love playing music. I play a bunch of different instruments. So that is still a big hobby that I can still do. That's never really changed. I am a drummer.
oh
So
yeah, me too. I hate that.
that kick sucks,
Yeah.
but there's one of the guys in the group. I don't remember his name offhand, but he had this wicked setup that he had in his living room that he was putting together, and he was giving us pictures as he was going through the progress. And I was asking him about how he does this kick, and he's got it on the pad over here. And I'm just like, I figured it's just there's a way. Like I said, there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah,
There's
there's
just
a will, there's a
different
way.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, never seen it.
Absolutely. On to the last couple questions. Traveling. What about traveling? Do you like it? Is it a lot of pain to drive in a car?
Oh well, traveling in my mind right now is kind of a sore subject. Um, I think you might have seen it in the group. In May I flew out with some guys from work for a business conference, and they ended up ruining, just absolutely destroying the wheelchair. I
Oh
say
yeah, yeah,
destroying,
yeah.
they
Yep, I heard about
destroyed the
that.
backrest, but it was just an absolute hassle and a half, going through vendors, trying to get that stuff, trying to go through their people, trying to go through that. I still haven't heard from United to talk about like, hey, okay, you fixed the chair, but
Bro, I'll never fly ever. I'm done.
that doesn't fix the issue, the underlying issue of all the inconvenience because it took all summer. When I say I had a lot of personal growth over the summer, it's because I didn't have a backrest on my wheelchair and I was rolling around on a floating ottoman and or like a rolling ottoman. So I
I was like
wasn't
a
used to
floating
that. I had
ottoman. I
no
need some of
back
those
support.
drugs. Right.
Dude, I'm telling you. No, I don't take those drugs anymore. That was in the hospital. That was all the Dilaudid.
Yeah, they got all the
That
good
stuff will
stuff.
send you to, dude, that Dilaudid will send you to outer space. But no, I didn't have a backrest, so I was working really good on my posture all summer long, and it was just a mental game, and so I really steeled my brain for that back pain, just not having it. I do have a backrest on it now, but it's like I try and talk to one of these companies and like, hey, you inconvenienced me in a big way medically every single day, every hour of every single day. I need that chair,
Right.
and I can't live without it, and half of it's missing. I get that you're trying to do the best you can, but when it takes all summer,
I'm gonna need some monetary
really,
compensation, you biatches. That's what I would have said.
you said it.
Yeah. Where's my money? Pay
You
up,
said
Delta.
it.
Pay up,
United.
suckers.
No
Sorry,
smoke towards
that was
Delta.
way too much. That was way
No,
too much.
no smoke towards Delta.
Sorry, all my audio users. I don't know why my audio is on the fritz today. Like first it was up, then it was down, then it went up again. I don't know. We'll figure it out. One last question.
You know, if I built you a custom PC, it wouldn't have those issues. Just
Well, I don't.
refit
To be
your
honest
whole
with you, I don't think it's the. I don't think it's the PC. I think it's actually my PodTrack P8 Pro, which is my interface that I use, which is over here in this area.
The PC is just a gateway, man. You let me into the wheelhouse, it'll be teched out, full nerd
I really
paradise.
probably do
I
need
got you.
you in here, Kev. Just fucking do what you got to do. Here's 10 grand. Just
At
fucking build
least
me
some
something
cable
dope.
management, man. Give me some zip ties. I'll clean it up and make it all nice and pretty.
Yeah, I
Because
definitely need
that's
that
actually
too.
what I used to do at work. Is all the big server racks and stuff. We'd have to sit there and come out and clean up and cable management, and some of them look sexy, man. We've got some before and after pictures on our Facebook page for the company. And
Man, you're saying that and you're making me feel so bad because I'm like, damn, yeah, I do definitely need cable management because this shit is ridiculous. Like
well, don't
it's
feel
a
bad
mess.
because just like a mechanic drives, probably the crappiest car on the
Right,
lot
right.
and is probably holding on together with shoestring and bubble gum, but don't look underneath this desk at my cable management because it's horrible because I don't want to do it when I get home.
Right.
I'll do that at work, but
That's funny. Yeah, it's like that. I just was talking about that with somebody else the other day. I was like, isn't it funny how like the people that are so good at one thing, like they don't normally do it for themselves, but they do it for a job or for anybody else. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's crazy. I don't know.
Well, I
Um,
used to work on lasers and robots, and the last thing I wanted to do was anything tech related. And I would spend all of my free time out in the mountains and hiking and backpacking and just like no technology for a while, just unplugged.
right. For sure. You know what might be the problem? And I'll blame it on this because of China. TikTok. I think right now we're on TikTok and it's slowing stuff down. Maybe could be that. I don't know.
Could be,
Isn't
very well
TikTok
could
ran
be.
by as a Chinese
Always,
company, right?
yeah. When in doubt, blame TikTok. It's
Blame
just
TikTok.
easier.
Yep, absolutely. Last question of the day, Kev. Man, I wish we had more
Let's go,
time.
bud.
We were supposed to go a little earlier, but like we said, we got stuff I
Hey,
got going
time
on.
zone, my bad.
No, no, it's fine. Yeah,
My
time
bad.
zones all crazy. We'll get you on something else. Um,
Yeah.
what would be the
I'll
best?
stick around for you and Rick and Rowdy, and I'll just be a creeper in the
There
background.
you go. Yeah, just hang out. What would be the best piece of advice that you could give somebody that is like newly injured? You know what I mean? Even if say like somebody had kind of the same similar injury you have, what would be your best piece of advice to that person?
I was gonna say, is that just SCI or is
Well,
that
see,
just like life
it
changing
used to be
wheelchair
just
in
that.
general?
It used to be just SCI, but like I think about it too, and it could go anywhere because really, when I was in a wheelchair, I was looking for any advice I could get. You know what I mean? Because it was like you look at all these different stories. Every one of us has a different injury. Even if you meet somebody else that's a T3 T4 like me, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a totally different injury.
Never. It
So
never will be.
yeah, so that's something that I've learned as well. So when I say that last question, like what would be your best piece of advice? I used to say for somebody newly injured. Well, I mean, I do mean that as well as I also mean somebody that might have the same type of injury you do because I think that, I mean, if I was that's kind of why we put the injuries at the end of this because, like, if I was a T12 incomplete, I would type it in and then see what other T12 incompletes there are and what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would do.
I mean, when
So,
I was Googling, this whole time through like the hospital, the first week or so, when you're still trying to figure things out, and the doctor doesn't want to give you the full spiel just yet because he doesn't want to freak you out or put a label on it. I was Googling away, and then that's the only thing I was looking was T12, T12, T12. The biggest thing in the early stages, like very early stages, first few weeks, while you're still in the hospital, ask as much as you can. Get as much information, whether you feel like you got the full spiel or not from your doctor or not. Ask questions. Don't stop asking questions. Their job is to make sure that you go home fully aware of what is going on with your body and how to take care of it and make sure you're prepared when you go home. But it doesn't stop with just the medical staff. Reach out to communities like SCI Life. Come and find us. Uh, Great community. That was one of the hugest. biggest impact. Sorry, she just, if my mom watches this, I'm sorry I didn't use that word.
She's gonna be like,
She's
"How dare you,
big on
Kevin?"
grammar, man.
Right.
I know. But that's the biggest support system you're gonna find, especially if you have an SCI. There's gonna be somebody that has gone through what you've gone through, and they're gonna know how to deal with it and how to help you with it. There's plenty of people willing to help you out there. There's plenty of people as far as counseling uh, for your mental health, because not just physical health, people really focus in on the fact that you can't walk. And back to those misconceptions. Another pet peeve is the whole B&B thing. People don't think about how bowel and bladder being such a huge issue. They just think about your legs don't work, can't walk. B&B is a huge, huge thing for us. It's a daily, all day, every day issue, and you don't think about that. A lot of people don't think about how much havoc it wreaks on your mind and your mental state in going through something like this, especially if you are single, if you're living alone, if you're doing this all by yourself, if you don't have a good support system, if you're in a bad housing situation, there's always somebody out there that's going to try and help, that is willing to rush over and help you or call you or text you or something. Community is number one for
Right.
sure. Just reach out to somebody. And I'll put it out there to anybody. If you have an STI or you think I might know about something that you have a question about, especially the guys in the group, guys and girls in the group, hit me up, shoot me a DM, ask me.
Uh-oh. What happened? Are you there? We seem to have lost our connection here. Can you hear me now? Well, we'll give it a quick second, see if he pops back in here. Oh, looks like it says connection lost. Maybe we'll try to redial him real quick, see if we can get him back on the line. Well, anything happen? Says he joined it. Yo, you hear me? Oh, wait. Something's happening. I think. Kev, are you there? Technical difficulties, folks. I don't know what is going on. It must be just the day of what's happening. I'm going to have to go through all my wires and breathe on all of them religiously. Well, I don't know. We'll get back with Kev. We got to get all his information anyway. We might just record a separate thing and put it on here. But thanks, Kev, for coming on. Sorry I couldn't get you back on here. Well, folks, it's been interesting. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to be on here, let me know. Shoot me a text on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Also, tune in tonight for another episode of Rick and Rowdy. It's going to be fun. 18 plus. This is an adult show that we do now. It's not unlike this. This is a very nice family-oriented, friendly show. I like the way it's going. It was a nice guest. Kev was good today. Like I said, we'll get with him to end it later and put it on the end of this maybe. But for everybody else, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next Wheelchair Wednesday. Peace.